Hello and welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to be starting on a whole new adventure. Now, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know that all of last year I had the Craft of the Month box from Stitch Kit. I love Stitch Kit. I'll say now right up front, I am not on any kind of commission or anything. Yes, they send me the boxes, but I'm not on any kind of commission or anything. I'm not affiliated with them in that way. I'm very happy to promote them because I think their boxes are great value, really enjoyable, beautifully put together, each one custom made for the individual customer. Well, I don't think any other craft subscription boxes are doing that. They do all kinds of different, they cover all kinds of different crafts, as we saw throughout last year. I had to go at a few of them. You can choose all different kinds of subscriptions to suit you. This, though, is a whole completely different thing, and I'm going to be doing this all year. It's more of a, it's kind of a, I suppose you could call it a collaboration. So, what is it, you ask? Stop waffling and tell us what it is. So they're calling this the Year in Stitches Quilt Club. Oh, I've just seen a thing come through about a blue hairy frogfish. Don't get distracted. Yeah, the Year in Stitches Quilt of the Month Club. The idea is that each month we'll get sent a box with everything in it that we need to create a quilt block. I think they're going to be 18 inch each piece will be 18 inches square. Whatever that is in I usually think in centimetres, so whatever that is in centimetres, 40 centimetres. It'll be a different technique or quilt pattern every month. We'll make a different one each month, and then towards the end of the year we'll learn how to do the sashing and backing and binding and everything to finish our quilt, and we'll end up with a quilt big enough for a double bed. Each of the boxes will be available as a individual box as well, so you could just dip in and out and do the ones you fancy doing, and you know, each one of them being that size, you could make a cushion cover with, or bag, or whatever you wanted to do, or even just frame it, you know. It's going to be, the subscription is only £25 a month, which I think is excellent value. They always put so much into, I am totally confident that what I find in this box is going to be lovely quality and everything. I've, you know, no doubts about that at all. Never been disappointed with one of their boxes. Now, what else do I need to tell you? Oh, but I'm so excited. I know they posted this box off on Wednesday. It came via Every, and it just arrived with me yesterday, Sunday afternoon, and I've had to wait till this morning, Monday morning, to open it. So yeah, you can buy the individual boxes. It's a bit cheaper to have it as a monthly subscription. I think it works out 10% cheaper, and it works out £25 a month. And that includes postage to the UK. They do post overseas, but they will charge whatever the cost of postage is. So you can always contact them about that if you've got any questions. You can save even more money actually if you do a whole year's subscription up front. I mean, what a lovely idea to put if you've got a birthday coming up or something. Anyway, you can join in at any point, but your subscription will start with whatever the current month is. So say you joined in March, you would get whatever the current that month's box is. So you'll be doing the same as everybody else. But if you want to catch up and get January and February's boxes, you'll be able to buy them separately. If you were to get the whole year up front, pay for the whole year up front, they'll send them all straight away. What a delivery that would be. Postman would have a field day. Yeah, they'll contain pretty much everything you're going to need. They did say that there are some helpful tools, so it would be helpful to have one of these rotary cutters and a patchwork ruler of some kind. And if you're using one of the rotary cutters, you do need a cutting mat as well. I haven't got my lovely nice clean one. I've got my one I've been using doing artwork on, so it's a bit painty looking, but it'll be fine. And they can do you a basic tool pack like that separately if you want. You can email them about that. We're not all going to get exactly the same fabric, so they'll pick out the fabrics. All of the customers who've signed up for this so far, they've emailed them and said, are there any colours you don't like that we need to avoid? You can most of the quilt blocks will be able to be either hand or machine stitched. You can do whichever you prefer, but it's a good idea to let them know because that might change what they send in your box. What else do I need to tell you? Probably not much. I'm dying to get into this now. Any other questions? Anything that I forget to talk about during the course of this video, pop a question in the comments, or you can email Kirsty and Rachel. Just contact them via the website. They're really helpful. They're lovely, lovely ladies. I've got some other news about them later on, but I'll do that at the end of the video. Very exciting, and I need your help. So all of their subscription boxes all come in a box like this, not usually as battered as this. And it is a bit big to get under the camera, so rip strip. Right. I'm too excited. Let's go to the camera, and anything else I need to talk about along the way I'll hopefully will occur to me as I'm going through. But as I say, just ask any questions if not. Okay, I'm going to go to the desk camera now, and let's find out what's inside, shall we? It's always a little bit difficult getting the lid under the camera. So depending on what it is, sometimes if you've got wool and things in the subscription boxes, it's like up to here and rammed in. It depends on what it is, you know. They use the same box for everything. Okay, let's have a look at the card. We hope you enjoy the first month of our You in Stitches quilt. This month the skill is traditional piecing. The block is called a chained star. Happy crafting, Rachel. Because there are so many different types of quilting, aren't there? I've tried a few myself, but I'm by no means an expert. But I'm pretty good at learning as I go along and sharing what I find. And it's all the more fun if I can share the adventure with you. So let's have a look. Always packed in this lovely tissue, which I always keep because it's such nice quality. I've rewrapped lots of presents with it. Oh, exciting colours. Oh, I love the colours. So each person will get, they'll pull fabrics differently for each person, and also I understand that they're going to suggest the variations that you can do, so none of us is going to end up with an identical quilt. I think that's lovely. We'll all be following along the same kind of path, but we'll end up at a different end point. Love this gorgeous sunshiny yellow. That's labelled D. That's probably important. This is labelled C. Zingy. I did say to them, because obviously they need to know what colours I like as well. I need to think about what's going to show up well on camera and stuff as well if I'm stitching. Like if I was stitching into dark material, you can't really see what I'm doing. If it's too light, the camera kind of blows it out. So I need to think about that. But also, I just love my bright colours. I always love my bright colours. You always get the little pack of stitch kits, sweeties. In all of the boxes that I've had so far. We've got a coordinating thread. That looks like a cotton. Is that the cotton one? It's Gutterman. They always send you, yeah, this is the 100% cotton thread. This is lovely. What I'm more used to using is the poly cotton, and the cotton thread is lovely. It's a little bit, Gutterman is not cheap, this thread, is it? But it's lovely quality. It is nice. And the cotton's really lovely to stitch with. Love these pins, these beautiful pearly pony pins. Love them. Ooh. This is, hang on, this is a heat erasable pen. Aha. Oh look, it's got a little sewing machine on it. Right, okay, let me take that off. I'm probably doing something really stupid. I can't make it pop out. We'll work that out in a minute. I've just got to get this sticky label off my fingers. Okay, so this is looks like the biggest piece of pattern fabric. This is labelled B. Oh look! Oh, I wonder if they thought of that, because I've been doing my underwater collage, haven't I? And that is all kind of coral reef imagery, isn't it? Oh, isn't that lovely? And all of these colours. You can, basically you can put any of the colours that are in this piece will coordinate with it. So yeah, nice. Oh, and this has got fish. At least I think they're fish. I love that. Okay, so I can get the box out of the way now. I'm so excited to crack on with this. I've been thinking ever since they first mentioned it some weeks ago. I've been so excited about it. So let's put the fabrics there that I can see them all. A, B, C and D. Okay. And my lovely pins and my pen. I've got to work out how this heat erasable pen works a minute. Oh! I was being stupid. Look, this, which I tried to take off. That is cute. That is well cute. And it's heat erasable, which is always useful. It's got this little thing at the top when you rub this over. So if I rub it, if I do it on here. If you rub this over it, it creates heat. The friction creates heat. So it will rub it out. And of course you don't have to rub it. You can use any kind of, any way of adding heat. So you could iron it, put it on a radiator, blow your hot hairdryer over it, anything, any kind of heat will take the pen off. So that's going to be really useful with quilting. Right, let's have a look. So each month there are going to be instructions included, printed instructions, and each month they're going to send the box to me ahead of time. Sometimes deliveries get held up, don't they? But all being well, I'll get the boxes each month in time to have a video out. So by the time you receive your box, there'll be a video that you can watch along and see how I got on. We'll all be learning together, which is brilliant. And then we can share our makes in the Facebook group. So you can share them in my Facebook group, the Arty Farty Any Facebook group, or in our Discord. And Stitch Kit have also got a Facebook group as well, so I'll link to all those things, and we can all share how we're getting along. Usually Rachel from Stitch Kit, and sometimes Kirsty as well, join us for the Wednesday waffle days, and you can share your makes in our Discord live stream follow along room, and so we can all have a look together on that, which is fun as well. So okay, so this is month 1, chained star quilt block. Bear in mind this isn't actual size. I think it's going to cut. They're designed to come out 18 inches square. So this block uses 4 colours. There's my 4 colours to create 2 types of units basically. A 4-patch unit, that's that one, and a quarter square triangle unit, that's that one. The whole block is made up of 9 units, 3 by 3. That will be put together to create a block with a finished size of 18 inches. I'm not used to working in inches anymore. I've sort of trained myself to think centimetres these days, but all seems a quarter inch. A year in stitches quilt cloth. Oh, so exciting. I love the colours. I love the zingy colours. Oh, that's really nice. And I can't wait to see what fabrics other people are getting as well. Okay, we've labelled your fabric A, B, C and D. Sewers will have different fabrics depending on their colour choices, so it's not been possible to display the actual fabrics on this pattern. Yeah, fair enough. So, but they're labelled, that's fine. So fabrics A, C and D are interchangeable. This is one way we can ring the changes to suit ourselves and put our own spin on it. But there is double the amount of fabric B, so yeah, that's that one. So this must remain as supplied. Okay. To make the block, you'll need to make the following units: 4 quarter square triangle blocks using fabrics B and C, 2 4-patch blocks using A and B, 2 4-patch blocks using B and D, and 1 4-patch block using fabrics A and D. Okay, yeah, so I could change it up. I could basically, B has got to be where they say, but I could change any of the other letters there. So I could make my 4 quarter square triangle blocks using B and A instead of B and C if I wanted. But I'm just going to follow their plan. Please iron your fabric before cutting to get an accurate cut. It's best not to use steam, as this can soften the fabric, making it harder to cut and sew. Well, that's a handy tip. I'm going to get myself set up. I'm going to need my little craft iron out. I'm going to put a new blade in my rotary cutter because I think it's been a while since I changed it. So if you haven't got one of these, you can get, you can get these on Amazon and stuff, but Stitch Kit are usually pretty good prices for things. So they're doing, I know they were offering a basic tool pack of a cutting mat, a patchwork ruler and a rotary cutter. They were offering that as a basic tool pack. Was it going to be 30 quid for the 3? You could just get that sent in with your box. Okay, I'm going to get myself set up, get out everything I need, change my blade and get started. I'll be back in a mo. I've plugged my machine in over there. I've even put a new needle in it. That's a big treat because I haven't done that for months. Haven't threaded it up yet. I'll do that in a minute. Got my iron handy. I've got the new blades out for my rotary cutter. It is important to keep it nice, make sure the blades are sharp basically. But I thought, well, I'll wait and see if this one is okay first before I just change it, because I can't remember the last time I changed it, so it might be fine. It's also really important to make sure you use these with a self-healing cutting mat. Don't go using it on something like this glass mat because you'll ruin the blade, and don't go using it straight on your table because you ruin your table. I've been through and I've just made a note of which fabric was which, because I knew the labels weren't going to stay stuck on. So I know that A is my blue fish, B is my coral reef, no, A is my blue fish, B is my coral reef, C is orange, D is yellow. And I've also marked on here just to make things easier on myself. So I know that it says I need, for the 4 patch blocks, I need 6 squares in fabric A, 8 squares in fabric B and 6 squares in fabric D. So I know that fabric B must be this one that's yellow in this picture, because we're making 2 of these, 1 of these. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So I knew that was B. And then A and D can be either basically. Okay. So fabric C we won't be using until we get to do the triangle ones in a minute. So I can put fabric C out of the way, which is the orange. I just thought let's just have a closer look at these when we're at it. This is Andover fabric. It's always such nice quality fabrics they put in. Andover fabrics, does it say anything else about it? Freckles, pattern 1424 freckles. Nice. I like when you get these kind of a plainer, because you do need some plainer colours. You don't want like all patterns. It's nice to have different sizes of patterns, isn't it? And sometimes you just need these kind of blending pieces, these almost plain but with a bit of texture in them. And I love this one. It looks almost like splatters on it, doesn't it? Well, freckles, I guess. But that one's not going to be used for these squares, so I'm going to put that to one side. This one, well, there's not going to be any label on it, but it just feels like a nice, quilting cotton fabric. Yeah, sort of thing that we sell loads and loads of in the craft shop that I used to work in. This is probably the smaller size piece. I'm just looking at how much there is, because obviously we're all, yeah, it looks like we've got these are fat quarters. These two look like fat quarters to me. So I need to iron these before I start as well. This one's Lewis and Irene. They use a lot of Lewis and Irene fabrics, I've noticed, stitch kit. This one's called Under the Sea. Wee Bluebell, designed in the UK. Yeah, fat quarter again. I love this. Shoal of Fishes. So it's Under the Sea, and this one's called Shoal of Fishes. And the colour is Pacific. I'll look at it. Lovely. And this last one, last but not least, double the amount of fabric. So this is so this is like a 1/2 metre. Yeah, so generous 1/2 metre. And so for a fat quarter, you would cut a 1/2 metre that way, and then you cut it in half acrossways as well. So you get, rather than have a 1/4 metre. For people that don't understand, I know a lot of people will know this, but some people think, what on earth is a fat quarter? So if you were cutting, it's hard to show on this small space, but if you were cutting a 1/4 metre fabric, normally it would come out about that wide. That's about a 1/4 metre. Sometimes it's just more useful to have a wider shape. So you cut a 1/2 metre, and then you cut it in half this way on the width of the fabric, so that you end up with a sort of more square shaped piece, almost square shaped piece. If it makes any kind of sense at all. I spent many hours cutting and folding fat quarters when I worked in that shop. Okay, so yeah, we've got 1/2 metre of this. So the first thing I've got to do is iron these fabrics, just to get the creases out of them before I start cutting. And then what it's telling me to do is to cut 3.5 inch widths, and then cut those 3.5 inch strips into 3.5 inch squares. So yeah. I'm not sure if it matters which way I cut those strips, because this fat quarter is like all virtually square. It's all but square, so it probably doesn't matter too much. First thing I'm doing is I'm just cutting along the selvage, because I know that's going to give me a nice straight line to start. And now I'm going to cut 3.5 inches in from the selvage. It's awkward to show you this on camera. The trouble is as well, I haven't got inches, I've got centimetres on my ruler. Okay, so what I've done is I've worked out that 3.5 inches is almost exactly 9 centimetres. So here on in, I'm going with 9 centimetres instead of 3.5 inches. The difference is not even an 1/8 of an inch, more like a 1/16 of an inch. So I think that's going to be fine. So I'm doing this like very, very beginner friendly, because I'm a beginner myself. So you can see all the centimetres marked along there. They're marked along this direction going that way, and this direction going that way. So I'm looking this way. What was it? 9. I want 9 centimetres. So I'm going to line the 9 up with the edge of my fabric that I've already cut straight. You can see the line goes all the way down. I can line it up on my fabric to make sure I've got things absolutely straight. Of course, there's no reason why, if you haven't got a rotary cutter and you don't want to get one, there's no reason why you can't just cut these with scissors, just like we would have before they invented rotary cutters. But this will make it quicker and easier. So now I'm not like expert using these yet. I'm still practicing. So you just do that to expose the blade, and then run it along. And I know I have a tendency to skitter off, so I'm making sure I'm focusing to stay against the ruler, and hopefully that's cut. Yes. So because I'm not on a big enough space here, I can't do it all in one go. I'm now going to have to line up again to do the bottom half of the fabric. But then, yeah, so I'll cut that strip all the way along the whole width of the fabric there, and then I'll line up this next one. Okay, so I've cut some 3.5 inch strips of the fabric now. And I've just realised I might have cut more strips than I needed, but hopefully that'll be fine. So then the next thing is I've got my 3.5 inch or 9 centimetre wide strip, and now I'm going to cut 3.5 inches or 9 centimetres along to make a 9 centimetre square. So I squared off my end first. So if I square off this end to show you what I mean. So I just want to make sure this is straight here. So I'm just lining up that straight edge along there, so that I know I'm going to end up with a nice right angle here. I think it'll be fine anyway, but let's just be on the safe side. So I've lined it up along there, and I'm just cutting a straight edge. There we go. Whoops. So I'm looking along to 9 centimetres, lining up the line with the edge of my fabric, and then cutting. I think I'll get much quicker at this as I get more confident with it. There we go. Let's have a check, see how accurate I was. 9. Lovely straight cut square. And I'm not going to worry, because it's me, about which way this pattern runs. It's not going to bother me, but some people might want to make sure they always have it running the same way. I won't even be giving that a second thought, being me. Slapdash. So I needed 6 squares, didn't I? So that's 3. I haven't got quite enough for 6, so let's go into this next strip. So I think I've got carried away and cut too many of these 3.5 inch strips, but it's fine.
I think that'll be fine, because either we'll be making more of these blocks using the same size squares, or there'll be leftovers and I can make extras. I'll check with Kirsty and Rachel in a minute just to see if we've got more than we need for this month's block. Is it okay to carry on and use it to make extras or whatever else we like, or do we need to keep it for future blocks? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy peasy so far. So I need 6 of them. I need 6 of fabric D and I need 8 of fabric B. Okay, I've finished cutting this first batch of squares, and I have double checked with Rachel at Stitch Kit, and she says that they've allowed plenty of fabric to, because you know we'll be learning as we go, we might make mistakes. It gives you plenty. If things go wrong and you need to recut, it's not going to be a problem. But if things don't go wrong, bonus, we've got all that extra fabric. We can make extra blocks or other things. I mean, I've not cut into this fabric at all yet. These are the fabrics that I've already cut for this block, and I've got all of this left. I've got enough to make several of the blocks or other things to go with, or even if I decided I didn't want to make a quilt and I wanted to make a cushion with this block instead, I've got enough to make the back of the cushion and a front. So yeah, I've got loads left, assuming nothing goes wrong. But it's good to know that if I do go wrong, it's not a problem. I've got plenty there to recut it. Okay, so I've got all my pieces ready for this block, and now I'm going to lay it out according to the diagrams. So this is B, so that one goes with, yeah, so fabric A. See, I don't care if I get them going different directions, but if that bothers you, if you want them all to go the right way up, then I guess that would go like that, would go like that, this would go there. Now here's where we found out how good my cutting was. Well, it's not perfect, but it's really not far off. Probably the most accurate cutting I've ever done. So I need to make 2 up like that. Fabric D, which is the yellow. In my case it will be different. If you're doing this, your box will be different from mine. Your fabrics would have been picked to suit whatever preferences you've told them about when they emailed you. I am wanting to make them the right way up now. So yeah, 2 like that, and then 1 which is going to be a combination of, yeah, like that one in the middle. It seems to be pretty simple. They've given a couple of tips there. I've done patchwork before, but I've never tried to be as accurate as I'm going to attempt to be this time. I'm going to try and do it properly. To some extent, you know me, I'm happy to embrace the wonk, but with this I want it to be as accurate as I can, I think. Okay, let's just put these into little stacks a minute, and look at one square at a time. So when you stitch the squares together, start by sewing the top and bottom 2 pairs, so this pair and this pair, together first, right sides together. So let's use the pins since they've included them. So I'm going to put them right sides together. I'm going to put this top pair together, now I'm going to stitch it down here. It's a 1/4 inch seam allowance throughout. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put the pins in this way, and then I can just sew straight over them without having to take them out along the way. So that's those 2 together, and then I want these 2 together along the edge. And this could easily be done by hand. I think as it's going to be backed, it could be done by hand with a small running stitch. I'll probably machine because it's going to be quicker, but I might try with some of them. I might just do a bit of hand stitching just because I really enjoy hand stitching. So we'll see, but I think for today I'm going to start machine stitching because I do want to, you know, last year I started using my machine more. It was one of the things I promised myself I would do, and yeah, I want to keep that up. So right, so I'm going to get my machine threaded up, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam along there, and then I'll be back.
This is a nice, straightforward, easy one to start us on. Get our confidence going. Okay, just quickly stitch them across. Little slightly bit crooked there, but I don't think it's enough to worry about. I will get better. Yeah, it occurs to me that if I don't have to recut, if this all goes nice and smoothly and I've got all of that fabric left over, I could actually make the whole block again, maybe even twice, and make a double-sided cushion. End up with a whole pile of cushions to match my quilt at the end of the year. Wouldn't that be fab? I could make all sorts of things with these fabrics, and then they'll be ready in time as Christmas gifts, won't they? And it'll be more practice. Okay, so that's the stitching part done with those first 2 squares. Let's look at the instructions. Use an iron to press the seams in opposite directions, the top pair to the left and the bottom pair to the right. This will allow you to nest the seams and place them together accurately. That's the top pair, that's the bottom pair. So I'm going to press this one to the left. So I'm not pressing both the seams open, I'm pressing the whole thing over to the left. It's nice to have one of these little dinky irons, so I haven't got to keep getting up and going to an ironing board, which I wouldn't have room to set up in here anyway. Okay, and then this one is going to the right. I love that they've included these really beginner-friendly instructions, because you and I will be learning as we go along together. And I feel like we're going to be experts, quilting experts by the end of the year. To nest the seams, place the bottom pair right side up on a table. Here we go. Then place the top pair over it, right sides down, so the right sides are together. As you slide the top one over the bottom one, you'll feel it stop when the seams meet in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna trust the process. Oh, actually, yes, you do. Oh, that's good. I guess that's partly because you've created almost a tiny, by putting the whole seam, pressing the whole seam that way, you've created a tiny step, haven't you? So you can feel that. Oh, what a lovely little tip that is. You can feel it get there. You can feel it. Ha! Love that. Because I can trim the edges after, but you need the centre seams to match up. I know I'm not going to be stitching both sides, but I kind of feel that will help to keep it in place. Do they look like they're actually matching? Is it going to be perfect? I really hope so. That's looking pretty good like that. Now, that's yes, I've got to stitch this seam along here. Yes, that's right. So fabric B will end up in that top corner. Okay, I'm just going to stitch one. This one I'll be back. Hang on. Okay, I've done that little seam. I hope that's a 1/4 inch seam. I just lined it up. Oops, I lined it up with the side of my foot. It's actually fractionally over 1/4 inch, but that's just going to have to be okay, because I don't know how else to make it exactly 1/4 inch. Got these in a previous stitch kit box. Fingers crossed. Important part of the process. Fingers crossed. Look at that. Oh, what? I'm so chuffed. I'm so chuffed. Right, now it doesn't tell me which way to. Should I be pressing this open now, or should it all get pressed one way again? I wonder if there's any guidance about that a bit later on. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to press it at all for a minute. I'm so blinking well chuffed at how well that. What a lovely little tip that is, that nesting thing. I've never. Oh, what? And okay, my cutting's not perfect because, I mean, you can see those match up very well. Those are almost spot on. It's a slight discrepancy there, but it's only about a millimetre or so, 1/16 of an inch. That side, maybe. And that'll get trimmed off at the end anyway. Okay, so I'm going to do that to complete these remaining, the other 4 squares, and then I've got to do the triangle unit. Okay, so this is a unit. I've got to make 4 more units like this, and then I'm going to do the triangle ones. When I come to do the triangle ones, I'll be back. Okay, I've finished those squares, and I've got to say, I know I normally say embrace the wonk, but there's something extremely satisfying about that. And they were all equally accurate except this one, which is a tiny bit off, but not so much off that I felt I needed to do it again. Those have ended up at the moment 16 centimetres, or 6 3/8 inches across. They'll be a little bit bigger if you started with 3.5 inches, not 9 centimetres as I did. But I just feel like I think in centimetres now, and my patchwork ruler is in centimetres, so my quilting ruler is in centimetres, so I'm going to stick with the centimetres, and maybe that'll mean that my finished quilt will be a tad smaller, but that's fine, it'll still be lovely. So I have gone on, I've moved on to the, what's it called, quarter square triangle block. I've got to make 2 pairs. You have to make them in pairs. I've got to make 2 pairs. So I've already made the first pair just to make sure I'd got the method right before I tried to show you. And again, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased with how accurate with that. I've never been able to do that before. Maybe I've never tried this, but I'm not feeling like it's not an effort to do it at all. So yeah. What I have noticed is that, again, because I'm sort of converting to centimetres, I've converted from 8 inches for my starting squares to 20 centimetres, which is the closest. And it was only a tiny bit like that in it, but obviously it's going to make a difference to the finished square size. But that's okay, because I can cut the squares down before I do the final assembly, so that's fine. I started with 2... The instructions say 2 8-inch squares. I went 20 centimetres, which is pretty close. So there's 8 inches. And 20 centimetres is there. So there's about less than half a centimetre in it, about not even 1/8 of an inch difference. So one of each of the fabrics, fabric B and fabric D. And then the first thing you do is turn it over to the wrong side. Use your heat erasable pen. I'm not going to use the one that they've given me, although it works really well, and I can see it with my own eyes here in person. I can see it fine against this orange. It comes out in red, this. So I suppose it might actually work on this one. I ended up using this because it was darker and I thought it would show better for the camera, but maybe if I use this one rather than start on the orange, it'll be fine. I love this method, really enjoyed this. It's so simple. I'm sure lots of people watching this will have done this many times before and think, what is she getting so excited about? But I loved it. Okay, so I'm drawing a line from corner to corner, being as accurate as I can be. I find it's easy to go from the middle and work outwards so it doesn't wrinkle the fabric up. So you can't see that one on the camera. I can see it perfectly well here. I feel like it's going to be easier for you to see if I go from a dark blue. It's another heat erasable pen. This is a friction one. To be honest, if you do it on the wrong side of this, it's not really going to show anyway, so it's probably not the end of the world. I could probably use a normal biro. Okay, you can see that a bit better now, I think. And then what you do is draw a line 1/4 of an inch, or I went for 1/2 centimetre, either side of this centre line. So I'm using my quilting ruler again, and you can see this line here is 1/2 centimetre. It's 1/2 centimetre in from me, as you can see these yellow lines along there. It'll be different depending on what kind of quilting ruler you've got, and you can definitely do it with a normal ruler as well. These things are really handy. So I'm lining that yellow line that's indicating 1/2 centimetre, 1/4 of an inch, if you're doing inches. I'm lining that up with the line I've already drawn, lining up all the way down here. And then I'm going to draw another line to one side of it. Yeah, I think that's probably enough to follow. And then the same on the other side, lining up that 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 inch line with the centre line that I've already drawn. Oops, and what I'm drawing in now is the line I'm going to stitch along. So you've got these kind of tram lines up the centre there. I'm not going to stitch on that centre one. I'm going to stitch along this line and this line. So obviously first of all I need to put the 2 squares together, again as accurately as possible, which is easy because I've cut them nice and accurately. Love this method. And now I'm going to pop some pins in. I'm not putting the pins along where I'm going to stitch, I'm putting them to either side like this. That way I can just keep stitching and not have to stop and take the pins out. I can just stitch right past them. I'm going to stitch down this line and this line, down both these lines, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I've got that stitched down those 2 lines. Hopefully you can see them just about. Now I'm going to cut up that centre line through both thicknesses. That's like magic to me, this is. It's going to be such fun, this is. So each month we're going to be learning a new technique like this. I think they've started us off with a relatively simple one. And it is quite simple, but there's still techniques to learn. And it's good practice. There we go, I've got 2 pieces like this. Press the seams open this time, so I'm not pressing them to one side, but pressing them open. And I find it's easier to just finger press them first before I get the iron in there. Being a little bit careful not to get too vigorous with this pressing, just press the seam open. I don't want to, because that's going diagonally across the fabric. I don't know if this is the case, but to me it feels like, because you know there's stretch in the fabric diagonally, I don't want to stretch that seam out and spoil the way the fabric's lying, the way, you know, so it doesn't sit flat anymore. So I'm being a bit careful there. So we'll do that with the other one as well, and then we're going to put the 2 together. I'll take one of these squares and I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, but the opposite way. So starting off with the centre line, corner to corner, as accurately as I can get, and then lining up with that 1/2 centimetre thing. I think because the 1/2 centimetre is a bit less than the 1/4 inch seam allowance that's in the instructions, that's partly why this square, my overall square, my finished square unit, it's a unit, isn't it? My finished unit has turned out a bit bigger than it should have, but because I'm going to trim it down, I'm not worrying about it. And then I'm going to put the 2 together. So now I'm putting these together, right sides together, so that the seams, these centre seams, match up, but the fabrics are opposite, if that makes sense. Took me a couple of tries to get that sentence out. They should match up quite nicely. The most important thing, if the edges don't quite match up, that's fine, because I'm going to cut them off afterwards, but the most important thing is to get these seams matched up, and I haven't got the kind of butting together thing that we did just now, so I need to just check that they're coming together nicely. Yes. Let's put a pin there. I'm going to put a couple here as well. Probably once I get a bit more confident, I probably won't need as many pins as I'm using at the moment. But so again, I'm not going to stitch down the centre line, I'm stitching down these 2 lines either side. Okay, done my stitching, and now, like before, I'm going to cut through all the layers right up that middle line, that first line that I drew. I love this, it's like a little magic trick, I do love it.
fingers crossed that those seams are matching up. Oh, spot on. That's just so satisfying. Okay, so that's my 2 pairs of what are they called? Quarter square triangle blocks. So then you trim all of the blocks to 6.5 inch squares. So because I've done my centimetres and they're very slightly smaller, I might end up with say 6.25 inch squares, or whatever that is in centimetres. Do not trim all the excess from one side. Measure the amount you need to trim and remove an equal amount of excess from each side. Yes, I can see that's very important. So if this was say 1/2 inch too big or 1 centimetre too big, and I trimmed it all off one side, then this isn't going to be in the middle anymore. You would need to take 1/4 inch from each side to keep it even. So I can see that. Right, I've just been cutting all my squares, just trimming them off. I didn't have to trim these by much. They've come out about 6.25 inches, 16 centimetres. So I'm going to make sure that they're all 16 centimetres. With these it was very, very little, just a tiny tidy up down, a couple of the squares, that was it. That's my mug rug from Sylvia. With these ones, they have come out a bit bigger, so I have to trim them. So I measured them and found that they were measuring 18 centimetres across. They need to be 16, the same as the others. I can't take 2 centimetres off one side because then it would be all crooked, so I needed to take 1 centimetre off this side and 1 off this side, 1 off this side and 1 off this side, and then I ended up with a perfect 16 centimetre square ready to go together with my others. If I had a bigger one of these rulers, I'd be able to, because you can get ones that are like wider this way, I'd be able to do this in one, I'd be able to do this in a slightly more sensible way, but what I'm ending up doing is lining up the 1 centimetre mark here, lining that up all down one edge, and then just slicing that off. Be time to change this blade soon, I reckon. So yeah, I'm just doing that on each of the 4 sides, and then I'm ready to put my final block together. I can imagine it's going to be really fun, as well as seeing as well as sharing pictures of all our different quilts, depending on what fabrics we got and everything, and how we chose to put them together, because you could definitely have scope here to ring the changes. It'll also be interesting to see what everybody does with their leftovers, because clearly there can be a lot of leftovers, plenty to play with. I'm kind of wondering whether one idea would be to do the same quilting technique again, but try doing it by hand, just with a little straight stitch, just with a little running stitch, to see how that would work out. And I think there's enough fabric here to make a full cushion back and front, actually, and just one block, or make little bags, or even a duplicate quilt. I mean, yeah, I'll see how I feel. Okay, I'm going to finish trimming these last couple of squares, and then I'm ready to put the final block. Right, finished trimming almost. Wait a minute, I've got done something wrong. This doesn't look right. Wait a minute. That's it. Whoops. Yeah, so I can see the yellow runs all the way down there. The fishes on all the way there. This is in a thingy. This is in a star. Yeah, that all looks good to me. Yes. So now I'm going to join them together in rows. So I'll do this top row first, right sides together, and stitch this seam.
Thought then I would get cocky and not bother with pins, but let's not push my luck. It's all been going so well, it'd be a shame to ruin it now, wouldn't it? So that's my first row all stitched together, and what it's telling me is I'll stitch all 3 rows together in the same way, and then for the top row I'll press the seams to the left, this one and this one. The middle row I'll press them to the right, bottom row I'll press them to the left again, and then I'll be able to use that same nesting technique that we used on this first unit to nest all the seams. Yeah, so I'll carry on, and okay, I'm nearly there now. It is slightly annoying me that one square of fishes is going the wrong way, but do you know what, it's not annoying me enough to do that again. I don't think I'm going to notice it in the overall grand scheme of things. So my first block is almost done. I've stitched all the 3 rows together. I've stitched the seams on this one to the left, this one and this one to the left. These seams I've pressed to the right, and these seams I've pressed to the left again. So now I should be able to put them together with that little nifty trick again, where you just put them together right sides together and slide them along until you feel that you feel them kind of almost lock into place. I love that. So then all that remains for me to do now is to stitch these 2 rows together and then stitch, oops, hang on, and then stitch this row together along there, give it a press, and then this first block is done. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back and show you how it looks. Well, here we go. It is done. I am so chuffed to bits with this for my very first attempt. It's not absolutely perfect, it's not spot on, but I mean, look at that. Oh, a bit of fluff. Look at that. And I've done it all in the afternoon. I've got all, hang on, let me get it for, I've got all this fabric left. Look, loads. I can make I have got so many possibilities of what I could do with this leftover fabric. I could definitely do at least one more block and have enough of this left perhaps to back it with, and make a whole cushion out of it, or a bag or something. Very, very pleased. I might try the same pattern but hand stitching it. I don't know, I'm going to have a little think about what to do with the rest of it, but this is the block. The chained star quilt block. Very, very pleased with it. Love the colours and things that they've chosen. They're very me. Yeah, just yeah. I'm very, very pleased with that indeed. So that's the chain star quilt block. It's quite a simple start. I think Rachel said they were going to go with a reasonably easy technique to start us all off. But having said that, I feel like I've learned lots already. For a start, I've learned to be more precise and got a bit more familiar with using my, where's it gone? Using my tools. So we did 2 different kinds of units within the block. First of all, the 4 patch one, where we learned how to nest the seams with that nifty little trick, which I was well taken with. Definitely something I'll take forward. And then the quarter square triangle block. Loved that. Loved the whole way that was done, where you do the 3 lines and cut up the middle. Thought it was brilliant, like a little magic trick that was. Yeah, and then just bringing it all together. I just very, very pleased with that, and I think it's great. I didn't expect to have that amount of fabric left. It's really nice. It gives me lots of scope to practice whichever way I decide to use it. Yeah, can't wait to see what next month brings, but there's plenty to keep me busy in the meantime. Please do share pictures of whatever you've got in your quilt boxes, And however you put yours together, I'm dying to see them. And also what you decide to do with your leftovers. I think that could be a whole different thing each month, seeing what everyone creates with the leftovers. So there was another thing that I mentioned earlier on. I've got exciting news that I was going to share with you at the end. So later this year, if you're regulars, and especially if you've been at the Wednesday waffle days, the live streams we do on Wednesday afternoons, you'll know that we've been talking about organising a kind of crafting away day, an Arty Farty crafty day at Stitch Kit HQ. They're based in Worcester, beautiful historical town here in the UK. So later in the year, date yet to be decided, and this is where one of the things you can help with, we're going to be putting together a day, a whole day crafting at Stitch Kit HQ. If you want to come and join us in person, the price of $69.99 includes your full kit for the day. The craft for the day, the main craft for the day, is going to be Manx quilting. So actually that fits in beautifully with all of this as well. And your kit will include everything that you need. The price for the day also includes a 2-course lunch. They've got a brilliant Egyptian chef there apparently, and he can cater to all kinds of dietary requirements, so whatever you need we can sort out. There's also the option of an extra box, a pick and mix craft box, which will have 4 exclusive crafting kits in it. You won't be able to get in any other way, and I've already seen what Rachel's got in mind for those, and they look fab. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So the price for the if you wanted to come for the day and have both boxes and the lunch and everything all included, is $109.99. There's also the option to join in from home. If you can't join us or don't fancy joining us in person, we won't be offended. You can still join in. You can get the kits sent to your, delivered to your door. Price for the kits is £45 for either of the boxes, or you can have them both together for £80 if you want to do the pick and mix as well as the Manx quilting. Or I guess you could do the pick and mix instead of the Manx quilting. The Manx quilting, the main activity, is suitable for any skill level really, from complete beginners to experienced stitchers. All of the stitching is all hand stitched. It's just a running stitch. It's very simple really, anybody could do it. Tuition will be given as and when needed. We will, if you're joining in from home, we will do regular live streams throughout the day so you can get a feel for what's going on if you're not able to join us in person. And there will also be YouTube videos to back it up. You can watch in your own time, whether you're working from home or whether you join us in person and don't quite finish and you want to go back and watch the tutorials. They'll all be available. So you can work at your own pace basically. I've got thread stuck all over my sleeves. There is also the option of extending the event a little bit, and I'm really up for this because for me it's quite a long way to travel, so I might as well make an extra day of it. So yeah, the option is that the next day Kirsty would be very happy to arrange a tour of the town of Worcester. It's a very historical place. There's lots to see there, lots to see and do. It would be free of charge, the tour. There might be parts of it that wouldn't be suitable if you've got mobility issues, so bear that in mind. And then also we can go back to Stitch Kit HQ the day after, and have they do knit and natter. So you don't have to knit. It could be, we could call it craft and natter. You can do whatever you like. I suspect there'd be more nattering than crafting going on, and that would be free of charge as well. The only charge would be for teas and coffees on that. If we do that second day, teas and coffees there's just a nominal charge of £1, but it's nothing, is it? So I'm really up for making that second day of it, definitely. Tom, bless him, has agreed to come with me as well so that he can help me with streaming and everything on the day. It would be quite difficult to do it without him, I think. So it's really sweet of him to agree to do that. The kits can be sent overseas as well, but obviously there will be a postage charge for that. If you get the kits and you're within the UK, that price that I said earlier on, the £45 or £80 for the 2 kits, covers your postage as well. What I'm obviously not telling you, and I expect some of you will be shouting at the screen by now, but when is it? This is partly where we need your help. I've created a really simple little online form. You just click on the link that I'll put in the description box. It'll take you straight there. You don't have to sign into anything or any of that kind of palaver. It takes you straight to the form, and then there's some multiple choice. You just click, click, click. Really easy. Couple of free text boxes because you might want to say something specific. So where we need this is kind of it's almost like we're asking you to be part of a focus group. We need to help us to plan this event so that it suits as many people as possible that would like to join us. There are only going to be 40 places, and they have agreed that those 40 tickets will go on sale to us Arty artists before they go kind of public, which is really nice because there are only 40 in-person places. But yeah, the questions in the online questionnaire that I'm talking about, that I would really, really appreciate you nipping over and filling in for us, are things like whether you'd like to join us in person or from home. If you're joining us in person, will you need hotel accommodation? Because if we could get like 10 of us even wanting hotel accommodation, we might be able to do a good deal with a local hotel, which would be good. Some people have already said they would travel up and back on the day, and some people would just want one overnight stay. But yeah, let us know. That's one of the things to let us know in the form, whether or not you'd be interested in hotel accommodation. We're not asking you to make any kind of a commitment at this stage. This is just literally helping us to plan the event. This is no commitment at all. You don't even have to tell us what your name is. The other thing we're asking is, would you want just the main Manx quilting box, or would you want the extra pick and mix craft box as well? Do you have any dietary requirements if you're joining us in person? And the main thing is, what time of the week would suit you? Would you prefer midweek or weekend? And what dates would suit you and what dates wouldn't work for you? So we've already got people saying things like, I wouldn't want August. I wouldn't want August either. August is not going to be it because I definitely can't do August. Some people are saying things like, I wouldn't want to travel in the colder months. Some people are saying it can't be during school holidays because I look after my grandchildren, that kind of thing. It's just giving us some feedback, giving us a feel for what would work for you. And then when we've got definite dates and things, then we'll come back and finalise the details and give you the chance to buy tickets if you'd like to, or order boxes if you'd like to. Kirsty also said they could definitely arrange to do it in a couple of instalments as well, so you could kind of pay half now, half later, split the cost a little bit. I think that's all I need to say. I just, except to say that it would be already, there's a few people who I've not met yet in person who are definitely part of our community that I'd be very excited to meet up with in person. It would be brilliant. A little bit like it was at the Bazaar event last year. Yeah, that was it was a lovely event anyway, but to get together with people in the community just made it just really extra special. And I'm also really looking forward to having a snout around Stitch Kit HQ, to be fair. See where it all happens. Okay, so that's all I need to say. I think please do, if you're interested at all in taking part in the event, either in person or by joining in remotely and having the boxes delivered to you, please do fill in the form. You're not committing to anything in any way. It's just getting a feel for what would suit people, and it'd be really helpful if as many people as possible would fill that form in. It's only going to be there for a couple more weeks, so don't leave it too long. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got if you're having the Quilt of the Month kit, do let me know what you think and how you're getting on. If you're already on the Craft of the Month kit, you can swap over. They're quite happy for you to swap over. You can stop this subscription any time you like, or you could just have one box if one particular box appeals to you. Obviously, if you stop partway through, you won't complete the full quilt. You could still, obviously you've got plenty, the kits are going to have plenty in them, and you can turn them into other things like cushions and bags and stuff as well. So if there are any other questions that I've not covered, shout up in the comments, or just contact Kirsty and Rachel via their email that you'll find on their website. That'll all be linked in the description as well. So I think I better go and get dinner now. It's getting late. Oh yeah, it's getting really late. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. One more look at my beautiful quilt block. I'm so chuffed. That's far too perfect. I can't possibly have made that. Well chuffed. Okay, see you again really soon. Bye. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Stop. Go make dinner.